Hi, Jason here, creator of the Grey Rooms. How you doing, listeners? Hanging in there? Let me let you in on a little secret. We are working on Season 4, and the next season is going to be wild. But before we can get to that, I wanted to take a moment to introduce our friends over at Shadows at the Door. Drawing on the haunted landscape of classic folk horror, Shadows at the Door artfully showcases tales of the unsettling, the unearthly, and the uncanny. Subscribe and join hosts Mark Nixon and David Ault as they gather around and listen to new tellings of beloved ghost stories, as well as spectral delights created exclusively by some of today's most riveting authors in modern horror. You can find Shadows at the Door on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or a podcatcher near you. So take a seat, won't you? Pour yourself some tea, turn up the volume, and tune in for the spirited debate and macabre tales behind the Shadows at the Door. Or visit shadowsatthedoor.com for more details.
Shadows at the Door is an audio drama podcast designed to scare and delight you. While rarely explicit, it is nonetheless produced with an adult audience in mind. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 2. First and foremost, we want to thank you for your patience. Once you hear today's episode, and indeed the rest of the season, you'll realise why Season 2 needed a little bit more production time. And while we remain very proud of Season 1, we're tremendously excited to bring you the next 10 episodes. You're going to notice new things like our new cast members, and from time to time we'll be welcoming guests into the discussion sections and showing clips of our references and various tangents. But today, we have something a little different. Rather than a traditional story per se, we have, well, look, we found a bizarre episode of a gaming podcast. It's very strange, it only seems to be half finished, but we thought we'd share it with you nonetheless. So, please enjoy the final episode of the 8-Bit Refit podcast.
Hi guys, welcome to 8-Bit Refit, the show that explores retro gaming in both days gone by and days to come. I'm Tom Winston and I'm joined by my co-host, a person who refuses to play any remastered release of a game, Nat Henwood.
You make it sound like a bad thing.
This, listeners, is the woman who once paid for the special editions of Monkey Island and still played them on classic mode.
Hey, I'm a connoisseur.
Yeah, so why'd you buy them again?
For the added voice acting.
But doesn't that count as a remaster then?
Not when they used the original voice actors from Curse of Monkey Island.
Whatever you say.
That's my line in the sand, Tom.
I still think you're missing out on some cracking remasters.
No thanks.
But in many cases, it's the developer showing you what they wish they could have originally done with it.
Thanks, I hate it.
Oh, Christ.
Just in case this is your first time listening to the show, we don't normally fight that much.
Well, that's not true, is it?
Well, maybe Tom isn't this much of an asshole. Anyway, this is episode 54 coming to you on... Wait, that's wrong. Okay, so whatever date it is when you're listening to this, that's today's date. I didn't have the right one in my notes, but I'll leave this in. I won't fix this in post. Give you guys a little peek behind the curtain of our professional process.
So, this week, we know you guys were expecting us to cover Dead Static Drive, but something came up that was simply too exciting to pass, as you'll soon see.
Ooh.
So, how have you been, Nat?
I've been good. It feels good to get behind the mic again, you know?
Yeah?
Yeah, I've been really busy working on the Resident Evil retrospective.
In which you refuse to play the remasters.
In which I refuse to play the remasters. I'm leaving that part to you. But yeah, it's good to go off script for a while, get back to basics. Put the bloody pen down.
Can you share anything from the retrospective yet?
Well, speaking of voice acting, I've been having a great time reliving Resi 1.
Oh, there's some right gems, isn't there?
Tom, let me just refresh your memory.
I can't figure it out at all.
Here's a lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
This house is dangerous. There are terrible demons.
Oh, no.
Ouch!
You're wounded. What kind of demon attacked you?
It was a huge snake and also poisonous. Ugh.
He really said that, didn't he?
Jill, you're here too.
Yes, you're here too?
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
But it's like so bad, it's good, you know? But you guys will have to wait and see. It's going to be a longer retrospective, you'll be pleased to hear. At least longer than the last one.
I can't wait.
But as I said, it's nice to sit and chat with you now, Tom.
Aww.
So how have you been?
Good. Can't complain. Well, weather's taken a sudden change, so it's chucking it down. Luckily, this booth is padded, so you shouldn't be able to hear it, but it's still grim.
Well, that's the UK all over, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Dare I ask how the weather in Australia is?
It's glorious.
I shouldn't have asked.
And yet you did. Christ, we are literally talking about the weather right now.
This is top quality podcasting.
Top quality.
This is what the Ko-fi supporters want to hear.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, that's YouTube.
I know. We should crack on. So, Tom, were you doing anything exciting before the heavens opened?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I was. Right. I want everyone to listen really carefully to this. Yes, older listeners, and by that I mean listeners who are older, will recognise that glorious sound as the sound of a cassette case opening.
I think we all know what that means.
Yes, it's time for a surprise Commodore deep dive. Last weekend I was at a car boot sale and... Oh, wait, will non-British Australian listeners know what a car boot sale is?
Good point.
So, a car boot sale is like a yard sale, but, you know, in a field.
Or, if your country is lacking large fields, a car park.
Exactly. There's usually a dodgy food van there too.
You haven't had beef until you've eaten it out of a white van with a loud motor.
Yeah. So yes, I was at this car boot sale. I came across a table full of old Sega Mega Drives and such.
I think legally all car boot sales have to have at least 4 Sega Mega Drives scattered around the place.
Yeah, you're not wrong. They haven't even upgraded to PS1s.
It's dads. Their kids grow up and they can't stand to throw anything out.
They'll be worth something again one day.
Yeah, the same type of dad who stopped buying their own clothes 2 years into the marriage.
They're the ones.
But I guess those hoarders worked to our benefit anyway.
This is true. So this particular guy had a carrier bag full of old Commodore games.
And obviously you bought them.
Yeah, of course I did. I mean, there's some absolute classics here, but I've waited so we could all properly examine the haul together.
An unboxing. You're so thoughtful.
Yeah, well, an unbagging. Yeah, we've got Friday the 13th. Dalek Attack.
Nice.
Maniac Mansion. Rocky Horror Picture Show. Listeners will remember we covered that back in episode 23?
Early 20s for sure.
Yeah, Space Taxi, Castle Wolfenstein, or is it Wolfenstein? All the usual suspects, really.
How much did you pay for all of these?
He had the whole bag going for a £5, but I insisted on giving him a £10.
Oh, that's nice. Still a steal.
I just think he didn't know how much it was worth, to be honest.
That's nice. So what else you got?
Forbidden Forest. You ever play this one?
No, I don't think so.
The sound effects for the bees used to drive me mad. Oh, wait.
What?
Empty case. Shame.
Well, it's to be expected.
True. Oh. Okay. Here's one I don't know. Slender Chances. You know this one?
No, never heard of it.
Me neither.
Can I see the case?
Yeah. So for you guys, when the episode comes out, I'll tweet a photo, but the cover is mostly black, the title is in white, and there's an image of someone walking away while turning to look back. A child, maybe?
Well, it's 80s art. Everybody looks kind of generic. Cover characters are either super muscly or... Actually, I've never seen one that wasn't.
True.
But would it be fair to say they look scared? Quality over the cam isn't great.
Oh, definitely.
One to check out.
Yeah, maybe after Dalek Attack, I've been itching to play that one. Granny's Garden. Winter Games. I think this one's just a spelling game.
Still, this is a great haul.
Yeah, June 2. Hang on, you know what? Slender Chances is bothering me. How have we both never heard of it?
I know, I've just been looking it up.
Oh, yeah? What have you found?
Well, nothing. Nothing with even a similar title for Commodore.
Any other platforms?
Nope. At least that could be related, trust me.
Bit of a mystery then.
You know we have to play this one immediately.
Of course we do.
All right, warm up the Commodore 64. So listeners, in what appears to be our first podcast scoop, we're about to play Slender Chances. Well, Tom is.
Never occurred to us to do a Let's Play over a podcast before.
Because podcasting is a famously visual medium.
Yeah. But how often do you guys get to experience a game for the first time with us?
Is it working?
Yeah, can you see the screen okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just taking a while.
Don't worry, I'll edit this part out.
Champion.
Actually, are you sure we should do a Let's Play? This isn't YouTube.
Yeah, I know it goes against instinct, but it's a scoop, as you say.
Yeah, but are you sure we can make it work?
That was your bloody idea.
We'll just have to rely on our charm, eh?
Yeah. Although... Well, how are we going to do the development history?
Oh, good point.
Here we are.
Exciting!
Okay, so there's our scared child, and there's the figure looming over them. It's really good 8-bit artwork, actually. And our figure doesn't have a face, just white.
Wait.
He's wearing a suit.
He's wearing a suit.
Yeah?
Tom, he looks like bloody Slender Man.
He does.
That's bizarre.
Maybe lanky guys in suits aren't as original a concept as we thought.
Wait, Slender Chances. Tom, that is Slender Man.
No.
Hang on, what's the text say?
It's getting dark. You were meant to be home nearly an hour ago. You and your friends have had your fun, but now it's time to hurry. You'll need to avoid nosy neighbours, neighbourhood dogs, and the dreaded Slender Man.
What? I knew it!
Hang on. He's been watching you. He's been waiting for you to be alone. Now his time has come and yours is running out. Run home!
Oh my god, we've found the first ever Slender Man game.
Like, how?
Well, I imagine...
Wait, he's an internet meme.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he was invented on the Bloody Disgusting forum. No, not Bloody Disgusting, that's something else entirely. What was it? It was the Something Awful forums around 15 years ago, wasn't it? People created things to make it seem as if he was entwined with history, woodcut drawings, doctored photos, stuff like that.
Yeah, I saw some of those.
Oh, so this is something someone made recently, in a retro style.
What, and manufactured it on an actual cassette?
Well, it's the most likely explanation, isn't it?
That seems it. Hang on, let me just mute this. You can edit where needs be, right?
Sure, I mean I can, but maybe we should let the listeners explore this with us.
What do you mean?
Let them come on the journey. If this is a scoop, let's make it like investigative journalism.
I don't know. Sounds a bit like...
Come on. You've been wanting to find a way to make things a little fresh. Look, I'll edit this bit out and then resume from when you just muted it.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay, let's go for it. So, listeners, it seems we actually have a bit of a mystery on our hands. Either we have a game which predates the creation of the quasi-folk meme Slender Man, which would then raise some interesting questions, or we've got a new, deeply in-depth passion project which was created to such a degree that it's... well, it's a...
A work of art.
Well, yeah.
So, Tom, shall we see what the gameplay is like?
Oh, definitely. Right, let me just... Okay, let's begin. More text. Avoid the Slender Man, he is coming.
Oh, I love this.
Okay, the game begins.
So what we see is a typical white picket fence street in what looks like middle America. Real American beauty vibe going on. The sky is orange, so I guess it's meant to be sunset.
Yeah, our little character, just a generic man, has appeared on the road. There's obstacles in the way, like parked cars, but nothing untoward.
No Slender Man?
No Slender Man.
I thought he'd be chasing you.
It doesn't look like it, at least not yet. And I'm off. My little guy is running across the road.
You can jump over cars.
No, I can jump on cars.
Fair dinkum. All is well in the neighbourhood.
Hey, get out of here.
Nope, a man has come out of his house.
Hey, get out of here.
Run!
Hey, get out of here.
Pretty easy. So this seems to be a standard sort of side-scroller, except with an avoidance mechanic rather than a combat one.
Dog.
Yep. Yep. Oh, shit.
Tom was eaten by a dog.
Yes, thank you, Natalie.
So it's insta-death then.
Yeah, one-shot kills. Right, back to the beginning. No sign of being penalised for the death, no life count or anything.
You've got this.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Oh. Yes!
Yes! Tom has successfully hopped over the dog. Looks like he's got the sense of the mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
So, while Tom battles his way through the neighbourhood...
Get in!
So gamers will remember there was already a Slender game, named simply Slender at first, back in 2012.
Ha! There he is.
So Slender Man is rushing out from behind a tree and Tom is legging it. It's unmistakably Slender Man, even with these graphics. Huge skinny limbs, clear white face. He seems quite at home in this sort of hardware. You lost him, Tom?
Looks like it. If you don't change direction as soon as he appears, he speeds
So you
up.
can't look at him?
No.
That's what I was about to say. In Slender by... Hang on, I'll just look it up. Okay, in Slender by Parsec Productions, the player walks in a forest at night, collecting pages and avoiding Slender Man. One of the many ways Slender Man can get you is if you stare at him for too long.
I'll just pause this. Yeah, I remember that. That was the one with all the static when he was getting closer, right?
Yeah,
Oh, that scared the shit out of me. I guess it's a similar don't look mechanic.
either an unoriginal concept or a rip-off.
Yeah, but who's ripping off whom?
I'm not sure. We still need to find out more about this one.
What? Bloody hell. Oh, made me jump a mile.
I thought you paused it.
I thought I did.
Are you dead?
Yep. Insta-death. Great.
Tom, look, it's restarting.
Oh, I can't be asked now. I'm switching off. Took me ages to get to his first appearance anyway.
No, just pause it.
Any particular reason?
I want to get genuine first impressions. Look, take a break and we'll crack on. It's not too late over here for me. I can record for another hour or two easy. And I'm more than happy to edit all this into something coherent.
Okay, fine. You win. Again. It's paused.
You sure it's paused?
Yeah. Well, it was the last time, anyway.
Okay. And don't tell me. Edit this part out.
Yes, please.
Your ego is secured.
Thanks, mate. Anyway, we've got to see who's behind this. It's not much of an exclusive if we let someone else do the investigative work.
Oh, so now you're into it?
Yeah, I am, to be honest. You've really sold me on it. I do not want to put this out only for someone else to solve it on Twitter.
Yeah, no thanks. So there's nothing on the game case?
Nope, just the artwork and title, not even a copyright symbol. Yeah, sorry, not that helpful.
Not your fault. Just doesn't give us much to go on.
Nope.
What if you complete it? Surely there'll be credits once you complete it.
Yeah. Nobody wants to make an entire game without taking some credit, right?
Well, hopefully not.
And just like that, my motivation returns.
Now?
Yep, let's go.
Okay. So, feel free to jump in at any time, but I'm going to do some narration voiceover.
Unscripted?
Why not? Well, I've got a few articles open in front of me to help. I can edit your channel out if needs be.
Great stuff.
So we spoke earlier about Slenderman's origins on the Something Awful internet forum. The thread was a Photoshop contest in which users were challenged to create paranormal images. Forum contributor Eric Knudsen posted 2 black and white images of children in which he added a tall, thin, spectral figure wearing a black suit.
I remember that.
We'll put a link to the image in the show notes. Although previous entries had consisted solely of photographs, this picture was submitted with snatches of text, supposedly from witnesses, describing the abductions of the groups of children, giving the character the name the Slender Man.
I see over time we dropped the.
Like Facebook.
Facebook used to be the Facebook.
Yeah.
Weird.
How are you getting on, by the way, Tom?
Not bad. I've eluded our skinny friend already, but the neighbourhood scroll is plodding on as normal.
So I see. We'll let you guys know once Tom escapes suburbia.
Now there's a metaphor.
Going back to Knudsen's photo, the quote under his first photograph read, "We didn't want to go. We didn't want to kill them. But its persistent silence and outstretched arms horrified and comforted us at the same time." Dated 1983, photographer unknown, presumed dead. Creepy stuff indeed. You know, there's so much Slenderman stuff out there, the original concept's really been cheapened by it.
Yeah, don't forget the movie.
I actually never saw it.
Yeah, you've done yourself a favour.
Rotten Tomatoes did me the favour.
Look, I've told you that site's flawed AF, even if it was right on this occasion. Oh, wait.
Hey Tom, you did it! Tell us what's happening, Tom.
So, after expertly dodging Slenderman a few times, my guy has left the suburbs, and after what seems to be a cutscene transition of sorts, he's approaching a large building, a warehouse, I think.
Looks like a warehouse, yeah.
Yeah, and he's going in. Oh, hang on, my guy's gone inside, but we're still out here.
Oh, there he is!
Okay, and Slenderman is following after. He's followed me inside.
Is it wrong that I'm actually a bit spooked?
What, like watching this?
Well, I'm glad I'm not playing, that's for certain.
How are you playing Resident Evil again?
Warily?
Okay, so more text. The old bottle factory.
That it?
Oh, yeah, that's it. Okay, level 2, here we go. Yeah, definitely going for a spookier vibe here.
Yeah, pretty dark. Is that dripping water?
Yep.
Nice detail.
Bat.
Did it just dive for you?
Oh, a bloody swan dive.
Well, keep your eyes peeled for more.
More looking out for Slenderman. I don't know if death will reset me to the beginning of the level or the entire game. Interesting.
The barrel?
Yeah, I didn't have to dodge it.
So it was like atmosphere?
It seems it. I mean, it's still there, which is interesting. You don't normally get that kind of thing in these old games.
So you think it's a modern touch?
I don't know. I could be overthinking it. Hang on, bloody bats.
It did distract you for the bats, though.
Clever. So, have any more Slenderman history for us, Nat?
Sorry, yeah. Was glued to your screen. So after 2 posts on the Something Awful forum, the pictures effectively became works of fiction. Subsequent contributors expanded upon the character, adding their own visual or text contributions.
And making retro games.
We don't know that.
Yeah, what's the alternative? That the forums took an old forgotten game and ran with it?
Well, I guess they'd be the first people on the internet to repackage an idea. It's a meme after all. And to be fair, I'm getting all this from Wikipedia of all places. And it's hardly a hyper-original idea.
You think?
How many creepypastas or horror podcasts have you seen and heard where the monster is this impossibly thin thing with long limbs and a gaping maw?
But Slender Man doesn't have a mouth.
That's beside the point. People are spooked by fragile and slightly human-looking things. A big-ass monster might have been scary in the 80s, but hardly is now. And maybe this game was ahead of its time. Maybe it tanked because of exactly that.
It's a good theory, I'll give you that. Are we using all of this in the final cut, by the way?
Too right we are. This is all gold.
Good, I thought so too. On that note, this level is a much slower burn than the first one. Not as much action and more red herrings. Atmosphere building. Well, as much atmosphere as you can build on a Commodore. Oh shit, there he is.
Was.
Oh. What was the point in that? He just appeared, then left.
Behind the pipes?
Yeah. Maybe he's messing with me.
Oh, yeah. I like it.
I do too, though the gamer in me wants a little action, you know?
Tom, the screen. Pay attention.
What?
He's back.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, shit, he's coming. Oh,
Run.
I am. Oh, shit.
He got you, huh?
Dead. Well, time to restart. Oh, wait.
Did it not do this when you died on level 1?
No. Within his embrace, you feel fear known only by those who dream it. You never stood a chance. Once he chooses you, you are his.
Dark.
Is that it? Is that the end of the full game?
Looks like it.
Oh, no wonder nobody's heard of it. You can complete it in less than an hour.
Maybe you can beat him on another playthrough?
Oh, hang on, here's the credits. Slender Chances by Lambton Studios.
Lambton Studios.
Yeah, Lambton.
Anything else?
No.
Guess what, Tom?
What?
No such company.
Oh, for
Back to square one, pretty much.
Why is there no record of this, though? Even closed studios have records. Wait.
What?
Lambton.
Come on, don't keep us all in suspense.
Well, there's an old story in my neck of the woods, the Lambton Worm. It's this old legend, a Geordie song about this huge worm that fought a knight.
A worm?
Yeah, well, a dragon, really. Some people say it's inspired the Jabberwocky, but that's beside the point. It's set in a village with the monument Penshaw. It's like the only interesting thing historically about the place. So maybe a local company would name itself after it. I'll admit it's a stretch, but Nat, can you search for game studios that were based in Penshaw, County Durham?
Sure. Oh, here's one.
Really?
Yeah, it says trading as L Studios.
Abbreviated. Oh, no wonder it didn't bloody show up.
L Studios, founded 1988, Penshaw, County Durham, by Henry Stokes.
Henry Stokes, was that?
Yeah.
Yeah, got him. He's on Facebook.
Are you messaging him?
Yeah.
It won't show in his inbox right away if you're a stranger. It'll sit in his requests folder until he chooses to check it.
Oh, really? You sure?
Really sure, trust me.
Oh, right.
Every woman you know will know this.
Well, that's depressing. Well, my mum won't have strangers sliding into her DMs.
Don't be so sure. Your mum's pretty stunning.
Right, well, I'm still going to message him anyway, just in case.
Sure. I'm not finding any contact details anyway. Just the registered address.
Yeah. Wait, what?
You could go.
What? I'm not just turning up randomly. How do we even know he still lives there?
It's like, what, less than an hour's drive away?
Just over an hour, but that's not the point.
Well, what's that then?
It'd be weird.
Hey, you said you were on board with an investigation.
And?
Well, it's not much of an investigation if you can't be asked to leave your house.
Forget it, I'm not going.
Well, I can't go. Come on, Tom. This could really push the envelope.
Nat, I'm not going, and that's final.
It's such a fucking scoop. Come on, man.
Can we stop recording now? I don't think there's anything worth salvaging out of all this, and we should really plan where the episode is going to go.
Yeah, sure.
Nat, sorry to bother you this early. Oh, wait, this morning for you, right?
Barely. It's 5 a.m.
Yeah.
What's up?
So, just before I go on, you should know I'm recording.
What? Why?
He got in touch, Nat.
Who?
Stokes. Henry Stokes. He got my message, and after some back and forth, he called.
Splendid Chances guy.
Yeah.
Well, what happened?
Hang on, let me play you something.
You recorded it.
Well, yeah, he called through Facebook, so I didn't get any warning, and after a couple of minutes I realised I should record. So I did.
Did you tell him?
Yeah, don't worry about that. Here, listen.
Oh no, it's really no trouble. I caught a little of your podcast, actually, before I replied.
We may need to retroactively get his permission.
Which one? Shh.
Your Clock Tower episode.
Oh, so you went to the beginning?
I thought that's what you were meant to do. I've not dipped my toe into podcast much before.
Ah, well, there you go. To be fair, there aren't any hard and fast rules with podcasting.
Nonetheless, I'm glad I listened to that one. I played Clock Tower back in the day. It made me want to dig out some of my old systems.
Oh, so you're not still involved in old school gaming then?
Not really, no. The last console I bought was a PS4, and I'll be honest, that hasn't been touched much.
So you're no longer into games development?
Sadly, no. Back then it was hard to get in the right circles. Everything was very London-based in the UK, and frankly I didn't have the means nor the will to move there.
Back then?
The early 90s.
Listen. Right. So that was one of my questions. How is there a Slender Man game that predates his creation on the internet?
That is a good question, isn't it?
But is there a good answer?
Well, there most certainly is. I'm sure you've figured it out by now.
I have an inkling.
I'll tell you what, you said you were in the north.
Yeah, North Yorkshire, yes.
Oh, come and see the studio. I'll show you what I have on the game and answer your questions.
Your studio? I thought you said you weren't in the business anymore.
I'm not, in fact, but I still own the studio. I still have my setup, even.
Really?
Really. It's an old bottle factory. It was abandoned and available for purchase, for pennies, really.
Huh. That's how I can tell it was 30 or so years ago.
Indeed. Newcastle Brown Ale, actually. They used to make the bottles in Durham. On that note, did you know they've now moved manufacturing away from Newcastle?
Yeah, I think I'd heard that, yeah.
Seems almost criminal.
It does. So I'd be up for the visit if that's okay with you. When were you thinking?
Well, why not tomorrow?
Sunday. Yeah, I'm free.
Fantastic. Let me PM you my address.
Great, thanks. What time shall we say?
Let's say...
The rest was just logistics.
Tom!
Thus, our investigation continues.
So you're actually going?
Of course, I'm hardly going to ghost the poor sod, am I?
This is brilliant!
I know. This is why I'm recording now. I'll send you the original recording for better sound quality.
Sure. So you're going in the morning?
Well, lunch. For two, actually. I just thought I'd let you know so you could chat to me while I do it. Didn't know if you had plans tomorrow? Today?
Well, I had that date, actually.
Oh, yeah.
I could rearrange.
Good idea.
Wait, to your time? I can do both. I'll just ask if he can meet earlier.
Oh, great.
He'll be fine, he's keen. And don't worry, I'll edit this out.
Hey, listeners might want to hear about your love life. Remember that review the other week that shipped us?
Oh yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, funny. Sorry I called so early anyway. I only just spoke to him and I was excited.
It's okay, I'll wake you up next time.
Thanks.
Alright, this is still too early for me. I'm going back to sleep. Call me when you get there and I'll have everything set up to record on my end. I should probably record too, though.
Can do, no problem. Speak to you then.
Bye!
Okay, I think that's it. Hey.
So you're there?
I have arrived in Penshaw, epicenter for trade and activity in the northeast.
Are you being sarcastic?
Christ, yeah, it's dead. I've pulled in an estate and Maps is taking me to the factory just a few minutes away.
Why didn't you just park there?
The map stopped. Some of these houses are new builds, so I guess this just used to be an industrial estate until recently.
Easier to walk then.
Exactly.
Ooh, I'm excited!
Yeah, me too. I hope he's a little less coy in person.
Yeah. That reminds me, I'll record some voiceover tomorrow after we play the recording. When I edit all this together, you'll need to give me a hand deciding what to keep and such.
Not a problem. We're just lucky he checked the request folder after all.
I guess you're prettier than you think, Tom.
Haha.
I've been editing the beginning of this episode, actually. Putting in some of the clips and stingers.
Oh, great. You're keen.
Honestly, I think we're onto something really special.
I hope so. But yes, so I'm recording now. Test and all that. Yep. You're recording too, yeah?
Yep. You're coming in loud and clear. Got your earpods in?
I do.
Great, so I'll speak to you if needs be. He doesn't need to know I'm chattering away, but make sure you've got his permission to record, okay?
I won't forget.
One of those Jehovah's.
Yeah. I'm sorry, what?
You, look in here. Are you one of those Jehovah's?
Do you mean Jehovah's Witnesses?
Aye.
No,
I've had one of yous this week already.
No, I'm not here to bother you at all.
Then why are you here then?
I'm seeing someone else, don't worry.
I'm not worried. Why would I be worried?
Tell him to do one.
Shh, Nat. I didn't mean anything by it. I'm here to see a friend.
Oh, why?
Yes. Anyway.
Aye, jog on.
I'm trying to, okay?
Wanker.
Jesus Christ, I thought British people were supposed to be polite.
Yeah, a common misconception.
So, shall we try and get something actually decent for the show?
Oh, yeah, that thing we're meant to be doing. Any ideas?
Yeah, so at this point in the episode, we'll have listened to your phone call with Henry, and we'll transition into today. So maybe you should tell us you're on your way?
Sure. This is how a man wants to spend his Sunday afternoon, walking through a quiet estate in equally quiet Penshaw. Of course, at least I have company with Nat in my ear.
Think of me as your inner critic / wingman.
Oh, yeah? Do I need a wingman for an interview?
How many interviews have you actually conducted without me?
Good point. So, Penshaw. It's not raining at the moment, at least, so I'm sorry to break the English cliché for international listeners. But I'm on my way to the address provided by Mr. Henry Stokes, where I'm promised unique insight into slender chances and answers to a lot of our questions.
So, Tom, you said on the call you had an inkling. Care to share with the rest of us?
I do indeed. I'm actually starting to wonder if Slender Man is an older, quieter bogeyman concept that actually predates the accepted creation we know today.
Are you implying that people have copied the idea?
I actually don't think so. I wonder if it's been a small idea in the back of people's heads for a while. Like how most villages in England have a grey lady. It's a meme in the true sense of the word.
That would explain why so many people resonated with the concept when it reached the internet.
Maybe so, maybe so.
It's a good theory. I think if Stokes had created Slender Man, he'd be more keen to claim ownership, or at least have that recognition.
Well, he was hard enough for us to track down.
Yeah, but then he nearly took your arm off to come over.
Not very consistent, is he?
Maybe something to ask him about.
Yeah, I brought the game, actually, in case the packaging or artwork is different to how it was initially on release.
That's probably enough for now, right?
Yeah. So, how'd the date go? The date?
Christ, Tom, this isn't for the show, is it?
No.
I was about to say. Yeah, it went okay, thanks. Went for a coffee and then a walk.
Seeing him again?
I don't know, maybe? He really is a little too keen. If he can keep his chill over text for a few days, then he's got a chance.
I don't know, you claimed the other guy wasn't interested enough.
Which other guy?
The yoga guy.
Oh, him? That was a while ago, good memory. What about you, anyway?
Who, me? Oh, bollocks.
What's up?
Nice dog.
Uh-oh.
Good boy. Nice, yeah, good boy, good boy. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh God, I shouldn't laugh.
No, you bloody shouldn't.
Did it stop?
Yeah, it's just plonked itself down. It isn't enough staring me down, but at least it's stopped. Oh, fuck me, I am unfit.
Too much time at the PC, mate.
Well, we get a great podcast out of it. Yeah, speaking of which, that isn't going in the final edit.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, oh, fuck off. Anyway, I'm at the warehouse now.
Oh yeah? Your friend's still staring?
Yep. Fuck off.
Podcast? Gold.
Anyway.
Anybody home?
You could hardly miss that, could you?
Yeah.
Might just try the... Oh.
Unlocked?
Unlocked.
How is it, Tom?
It's dark. It hardly seems like a suitable place for a game studio. There's still industrial machinery here. Yeah, oh, and bottles.
I say hello.
Henry, it's Tom from 8-Bit Refit.
Yes, hello, Tom. Let me just put some lights on. Would you mind closing the door?
Yeah,
Better?
Hardly.
Sorry, my space is upstairs. There's office space up here, so that's where I set up all those years ago. Did you find the place okay?
Yes, no problem. I can't see you.
Just making my way down. Forgive me, I lost track of time. Most people don't find the place okay. Google Maps seems to have forgotten this part of the land.
Well, yeah, there was that.
How typically British. Too polite, to be honest.
Try not to talk to me from now on. I'll pipe up if I need to, but you'll do fine, yeah?
Sure. Guilty as charged. Well, on that note, the lighting hasn't done much. I can't even see the stairs.
And make your way down the walkway. You'll soon see me.
You okay?
Yeah, it's just weird.
You're doing great.
I still don't see you.
Oh, I see you, my friend. Come closer.
Okie dokie. So I should let you know I'm already recording, is that okay?
Oh, yes, absolutely. In fact, I'm counting on it.
Oh, good. So I take it you're keen to get the word out?
You could say that, yes.
Getting some static. I wonder if the signal's being blocked.
Hey, so Henry, I'm getting some interference on my recording. Would you mind coming to me? I don't know if it's the thick walls or something. It's just I don't want to lose quality if this is going to be broadcast quality.
The static is quite normal. It started, that's all.
Sorry, what was that?
Is this guy messing around with us?
So you're interested in Slender Man?
Slender chances, yes. It's caused us to re-examine what we know about the mythos. We just can't believe it's remained hidden for so long.
Hidden?
I mean, there's no internet presence to speak of. It's almost like the game's been scrubbed from existence.
I suppose that's true.
Honestly, Henry, it would be easier if I could see you. I can't use a shouted interview. Henry?
Tom, he seems like a creep. You should probably go. It feels like you're gonna get mugged or something.
Or worse. Look, Henry, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm on a tight schedule and I may need to go. Henry, is that you up there? Henry? Hang on. Henry, are we alone?
Not really. No.
Look, I have to go. Thanks for your time. Oh, fuck.
Tom?
I just fucking saw.
What?
I can't.
Where are you off to, Tom? Don't you want to meet Slender Man?
The fuck he just say? Tom, you're scaring me. Tom?
It's him, Nat. It's fucking him.
Who?
It's fucking...
Tom!
Fucking Slender Man.
What?
Oh, fuck.
Tom, you must be spooked, mate.
Stay away! You're not real. You're fucking me. Stay the fuck away.
Tom!
No!
Now! Tom! Did you get out? Tom, what's going on? Tom! 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 For fuck's sake, answer me, you wanker! Oh, God.
You must be Natalie.
What? What the fuck have you done with Tom?
Listen.
No, tell me what's going on or I'm calling the fucking police!
Natalie... Tom's dead, I'm afraid to say.
What? No, fuck off! No, he's not!
Listen here, you little bitch. Listen.
Tom is gone. Given to the creature you know as Slender Man. It's a force of nature, quite literally. Once it's chosen you, there's almost nothing you can do to stop it. Unless you can bring others to it. To him.
What?
And don't think being in Australia will save you. He'll be with you before long. You're linked now. Being on the phone to poor old Tom here, you made contact. By your own admission, my game is redundant now. It used to be that whoever played it made that contact. But he's been starved, Natalie. I had to hold him off with Tom. I knew if we waited, there was another way to connect him to far more people than ever before.
That's why...
8-bit refit. Hardly a fitting title, but it'll do. What was your last post on Twitter? 900,000 unique downloads? So listen here, and listen well. You're going to release this episode as it stands right now. And everyone who listens will be connected. Then he'll have his pick.
What if I refuse?
I'm a glass half full kind of man, so let's put it this way. You will live, Natalie. Your family will live, your friends will live. Only strangers will be taken.
I can't do it.
I know you'll do the right thing, Natalie. I look forward to the episode.
And that was Slender Chances, written by me, Mark Nixon, and I am joined by the late David Ault.
It's true, yes. Death comes to all of us.
Yeah, unfortunately, with increasing frequency.
Yes, I've noticed this. Is there something you're trying to say, Mark? Is there something about Series 3 that you're trying to transmit to me?
I've just got my feet under the table, David, you know.
Yeah, Series 1 was all me doing the narrations. Now Series 2, you're bumping me off more, and I've got and there's more guests. Season 3 is just am I going to have one line in maybe the penultimate episode? Is this your way of doing things?
I love how bitter you are about this. Yeah, season 4 is just going to be me and Erica Sanderson.
I knew it. Erica Sanderson doing a perfect David Ault impression, which she probably can do.
She probably could do that.
She is that good.
So, for listeners who are not familiar with Erica, this is an actor who will be appearing in the next episode, actually. Yeah, so stay tuned. Yeah, so, I mean, that was I'm going to come out and say it, David. I really love that episode. I took a character that I very much love and whose primary appeal is their aesthetic.
Yes.
And put it in audio. And also, there's a lot of bad Slenderman content, so I've dared to try and do a good one.
You dared well. I think it's quite honestly, it sounded really, really good. And that was... everything came together, the writing, the music from Nico, the sound effects from Phil Michalski, who is an amazing sound effects kind of guy. But yeah, I think that was a very good way to kick off the rest of Season 2, or Series 2 for our British listeners.
Yeah, but we're increasingly Americanized, so I've been saying season.
Oh, well.
You can fight it as much as you want.
Yeah, I will be there as Canute, sitting in the tide. Going, no.
This, of course, was our second full cast episode as well. Although, David, keen-eared. Is that a thing? Keen-eared?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Keen-eared listeners will have noticed that David still got to play 2 characters in this episode.
Yes, very true. I was the dog.
Yes, I set a scene in the northeast of England, which would have been perfect for my voice. And chickened out.
You chickened out. It's disgraceful, really. I mean, given that it was a shouty neighbour in the distance. Why not? Why not, Mark?
I don't know. You are just so good. And then I heard Alana and Jake in this episode as well. And you're all so good. And then when I re-listen to Blessed Be the Man, and I love that episode, I love it, and I'm glad I'm in it, but I just don't like hearing myself in it.
That's one of those things that you do get used to. It took me a while to hear myself on the audio dramas I started off in, and now I can. It's just something you get used to, but it's something that happens with practice, Mark. So you just have to put yourself in more.
I feel like Mark Gatiss, where he showruns a show and goes, I think I'll cast myself as Sherlock's smarter brother.
Yes.
I mean, I can't blame him.
Well, true.
I will. I'll get there. So I will pledge that in more episodes in this season, which is still in production, but I will cast myself a handful of times.
But what can the listeners, just before we get into discussion about Slender Man and Slender Chances, what can listeners expect from the season now that we've been off the air for a little while? Can you please put it to the house that we are going to be having a regular release schedule?
Yes, we are, and thank you for raising that. So, this has come out on Friday the 3rd of July, and now each new episode will come out fortnightly. We did do weekly in Season 1, but I nearly died, so it's going to be fortnightly. We've got a good few episodes ready to go, and you're going to get at least another 10 episodes. So, Season 2 is a longer season. I've been a horrific tease on Twitter. But honestly, it will be worth it. And I think, you can, as much as I love season 1 and I love it when we get new listeners, when people get in touch and they say, "Oh my God, I'm on season 1, episode 2, and I love the sound design." And I'm like, well, it's just going to get better, Twirl's mustache.
Yes,
Yeah,
it has been amazing to hear what you've done with the sound. I mean, I know I say this sort of at the wrap-up of every season. But
not enough, David, not enough.
But given that you are self-taught on production, it sounds incredible. And you've just got better and better and better.
Thank you, David. And you were already at the peak of your acting, actually. I'm joking because I wrote your death scene and you sent me it in a separate recording, I think maybe because you were waiting for the house to be empty or something.
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah, and I just thought you outdid yourself. I thought your death in this one was really good. And it's like I could hear the moment you die, and the rest is just your death rattle. But enough of this circle jerk. The other thing I'll say for the season 2 is that we are pushing the boundary a bit and what we can do with the medium, because ghost stories are they are naturally a formulaic way to tell a story, with a lot of beloved tropes and, dare I say, a few cliches.
Maybe a couple, yeah.
Yeah, but we're pushing it a little bit, and we did that with this one. I saw this story came to me very, very easily, and it just seemed perfect for found footage. And hopefully you'll see more episodes this season that kind of push the boundaries of what we did in season 1.
Yeah.
But I'll have to stop to a point. I'm not going to be doing like a choose your own adventure podcast. I'm sure one of those exists, and I'm not doing it.
They do, yes. Yeah. Okay, so discussion of the story itself.
Doing a Let's Play in a podcast, I don't know if that's been done before.
Maybe a couple of times, yes.
I mean, maybe. I know Twitch is certainly a huge industry in YouTube, but I had to have you and Alana's character acknowledge how ridiculous it is. But of course, this is the first time everyone's heard Alana and Jake,
Indeed.
2 of our new cast members.
Yes, and they've done very, very well indeed. And we are looking forward to hearing more from them throughout the season.
Yeah, and absolutely no offense to you, David. And by no offense, I mean some will come. But Alana is naturally Australian. That doesn't say she dyed her hair Australian. Alana is Australian, and she can do other accents brilliantly. But I needed her to not be able to help your character, so I thought I'll just let her be Australian. And then it just became a fun part of the script as to why they could only speak at certain times and when he wakes her up and things like that. And Jake, Jake let me do a very brave... Well, Jake was very brave, and he let me do something fun with his performance. So, David, have you seen American Psycho?
A long, long time ago, yes.
Okay. You might remember a scene where Willem Dafoe visits Patrick Bateman, Christian Bale, in his office to ask him about the disappearance of Paul Allen, as he's called in the film, Jared Leto. And it's a very strange scene because he comes in, he's very friendly, and then he keeps switching between friendly and, well, frankly, then he knows that he killed him and he's out to prove it. And it's a fairly well-known piece of trivia that the director asked Willem Dafoe to play the scene once as a really nice, naive detective who's just there to follow the routine, and another take where he knows that Patrick did it and he's going to catch him. And in the edit, they just completely chop and change those 2 takes and put it in, and it makes for a very unusual performance.
And where did he go to school?
Don't you know this?
I just wanted to know if you know.
Before Yale, if I remember correctly, St. Paul's. Listen, I just want to help.
I understand.
Had his apartment been burglarized?
No, actually it hadn't. Toiletries were missing, a suit was gone, so was some luggage, that's it.
I mean, no one's dealing with a homicide squad yet or anything, right?
No, not yet. As I said, we're not sure. Basically, no one's seen or heard anything.
So typical, isn't it?
It's just strange. One day someone's walking around, going to work, alive, and then...
Nothing.
People just disappear.
The earth just opens up and swallows them.
Eerie. Really eerie.
And that's exactly what Jake and I did.
Ah.
So Jake sent me, as he called it, the nice version and the nasty version. Even the most mundane sentence, he's like, "I'm sorry to have called so early," or whatever. And what? I'm sorry to have called so early. You know, I don't know why he's Hugh Laurie there. I think it's quite brave of Jake to let me do that, because when I hear his performance, it does sound very jarring. In that some lines are nice and some lines are not, and hopefully that'll have come through, because I think when that character is introduced, you suspect he will be evil. And I just wanted to play with that a little bit.
That's fair enough.
And I'm hoping that when people hear it, that they've heard that. But well done to Jake for letting his first performance in Shadows at the Door be a very strange one.
Fair enough, yes.
I was surprised when I learnt that you're a bit of a gamer, or you play games.
I am indeed. I do, yes. Why is this surprising?
Because you're so cultured, David.
Oh.
Like you strike me as and I know this isn't true, but I look at you and I think there's a man who doesn't own a television. So, did you ever play the original Slender game when it came out many years ago?
I did. It is in my Steam library.
Wow, Steam,
yes,
back then
yes,
even.
I did think of going back in, because it's one of those things. I do like horror games. I mean, my genre is puzzle platformers and sort of nice exploratory open world kind of things. And I do have quite a lot of horror games. But I tend to be a bit of a wuss that once things start going a little bit dark, I'm kind of going, no. I was walking into the scary murder house in a game just the other day, and I just thought,
was this Resident Evil 7?
No, I have looked around the Resident Evil 7 house, and no. But this game, I just thought, if I'm this investigator, I am turning around and going back to the car. Thank you very much. And there's one game that really sticks out in my mind, Outlast, which is hideous, and no.
I didn't get to finish Outlast.
I think I got to the end of the first chapter and tentatively put a toe into the second chapter, and then I just thought, you know what, no.
And that toe was nibbled off.
Yes.
Actually, just a few hours ago, because we're recording this on late June, I was playing The Last of Us 2.
Oh yes.
There was just a scene where like you're hiking through the mountains, and like this horde of infected is just screaming and running for you, and you've got no choice but to run. And I thought, this is like the opening 10 minutes of 28 Weeks Later.
Yes.
And it was really scary, and I think I'd even stood up to play this bit. But I was like, this is incredible storytelling, and I love that. But going back to Outlast, it's funny you mentioned that, because I always saw that as a bit of a inheritor or a successor of Slender. I just remember when Slender came out, I hadn't played a game before where something was following, and I know games had existed. Resident Evil 2 had Mr. X, for example, and Nemesis, and in the third one. But I remember shaking when I played that game.
Oh yeah, same. Because I've been around and I've collected 3 or 4 of the bits of paper and things. And as soon as everything starts going, that's when I start going, no. Thank you very much.
Yeah, this is why I love that concept of Slenderman. And then I think he didn't even have tentacles to begin with, and I've never been mad on the tentacles. It's a bit just of an easy Lovecraft thing. But one thing that has made that game a bit less scary, a very old YouTube video. Have you ever seen Bane Plays Slender?
Bane Plays Slender.
No.
Oh, it came out after pretty much at the same time The Dark Knight Rises came out, and it was someone doing a very good impression of Tom Hardy's Bane, and he would play the game and just start screaming. And he would like mock Slender Man, like, I can beat you in a fight. I tell you what, I will play a clip of it.
Okay.
Hello, Internet. Bane here. My friends told me to play this new game called Slender. They said it's really scary. I doubt it. Oh, look, there's someone who can help me. Hello? Hello, sir? I seem to be lost in these woods. Are you hiding from Slender Man, you pussy? Hey, why don't you get out of that truck and help me find some of these pages? Sir? Come on, get out of that truck. What are you doing? There was somebody in that truck, wasn't there?
But I think one of the most intimidating game experiences I ever had was Alien Isolation.
Oh, yes, that's yeah.
Yeah, that's so long. Such a long time to just tense your entire body. And
yes.
And like when I completed it, I've never played it again. I've kept the game, but I want to play it again. But I never felt a sense of achievement more than that game because it was so fucking hard and scary.
Yes.
But it was fun to write about a horror game this time because I've never had a Commodore 64.
I see. I had a BBC Master.
A BBC Master? Tell us more. What could you play on that?
Yes. Well, I played things like Felix Meets the Evil Weevils.
Was that like Felix the Cat?
No, just this little. It's an old mid-80s computer. And if you want to see what it's like, actually, The Life of Pixel is a really fun, joyous, happy game which goes through the history of computing and the history of how computers have developed over the years, right from the Spectrum through to the 64-bit kind of modules, and it's lovely, it really is. But you can see what the BBC Micro was like. There was even a couple of Doctor Who games actually. I had one of them. I didn't have the Caves of Terror, but that one has Colin Baker as the Doctor, so you can get an idea as to how old it is. But yeah, that had 5.25-inch floppies.
Not gonna make any comment. My parents wouldn't let me have consoles as a kid. I had a PC, and I used to just play Star Trek games on it. There were so many Star Trek games in the late 90s, early 2000s.
I've always been more of a PC gamer than a console gamer.
Oh no, when I got my first part-time job, I got an Xbox 360 with my first paycheck.
Oh, I got a packet of chocolate digestives with mine.
Bloody hell, David. That few years between us really shows sometimes. Was that your entire paycheck for the digestive?
The 80s were very difficult.
Yeah, it was a few shillings, wasn't it? No, I had an Xbox and PS4, and I guess when the new generation comes out, if I can afford it, which I won't, I'll get whichever console promises me Alan Wake 2.
Right. So there you go. Sony, if you're listening, Microsoft.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll do an entire Alan Wake episode where I just invite all of our gamer listeners on to talk about how good Alan Wake is, of which we have many.
I have started Alan Wake. I haven't got very far with it.
Oh, David, you should do it. It's my favorite. It's just so good. Even though it's not objectively the best game in the world, I still think it's amazing.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a writer wearing tweed going through the woods with lots of ferns around and spooky monsters. I mean, everything about that is just and it's littered. It's basically, I mean, Sam Lake, the man behind Remedy, he wears his influences on his arm much like I do, and that whole game is just, I wonder if Twin Peaks were a game but with Stephen King in it.
Right, okay. I'll go back and play it then.
So I got to put a few references to some franchises that I really like Monkey Island and Resident Evil in the script.
Oh, yeah. Monkey Island's...
Did you play that?
I did, yes. I had to go around to a friend's house to play Monkey Island, but I do remember playing it back in the early 90s, yes.
I used to play them. I had a friend who was a Jehovah's Witness, and Monkey Island was one of the few games he was allowed to have. So
really, right?
Yeah. So I would go over and play Monkey Island, and then I started playing it myself. Actually, during quarantine and lockdown, I recently completed a playthrough of The Curse of Monkey Island with my 2 3-year-old children.
Aww.
And their puzzle-solving abilities were actually remarkable. I will say this, though, although I hadn't played many Commodore games, for nearly every game that I mentioned in the script, I went on YouTube and looked at footage of it being played, just so I would know what your character would be into.
Okay.
I wanted consistency in what he would enjoy. And I put that he really liked Dalek Attack as a bit of a... I think David would be excited if he found that one. Yeah. What's quite worrying is I recently did some work for Gaming for the Globe, a charity to save Shakespeare's Globe.
Oh, yes.
At the time of recording, the event hasn't happened yet, but so far the fundraising's going very well. And I've met a gaming podcaster called Tom.
Oh, cool.
And he's a friend of Alana's. And as I met him on this Zoom chat, I looked at Alana and I was like, shit. Like, is he going to think that I killed him?
Yeah, so some of the games that, some of the franchises that I've been playing recently, to give you an idea of the kind of open worldy type things, Saints Row is brilliant. 2, 3, and 4. I like I like marble games, so where you're navigating around a course. And then other things like the Turing test is quite interesting. So that's solving puzzles by manipulating your environment. But the thing that I've just completed, which I was really pleased and was a joyous experience, was Supraland, where you are going around and you go into different areas and you unlock various things, double jumps, triple jumps, etc. But it's just it's a beautiful terrain that you're going through, and so I was very pleased to have finally finished that.
I think we're definitely getting a feel for these non-threatening games.
Yeah, I'm kind of a non-threatening kind of guy. I think there's enough threat in the world as it is.
Not according to the script I sent you the other days.
Yeah, I think there's enough threat in the world as it is without having to invent more.
That's true. Christ, because I've been playing Last of Us. See, I haven't been gaming much at all this year, and then the last few weeks, I finally picked up Resident Evil 7 and finished it, because I started playing it when my children were born.
Right, okay, yes.
I would lie them on my chest and play it when their mum went to bed when I was with her. And then it got a bit too intimidating to play, so I never finished it. I got to a point where you're crawling in between the walls.
I've seen that, and it's even worse in VR.
No, thank you. But I finished that, and that was really intense, because I saw the trailer for the new one that's coming out, Village, which is like Lovecraft meets like a Robert Eggers film.
Oh.
I was like, I really want to play that. And Hannah Butler, a friend of mine, who is providing an episode this season, said, oh, well, that's the protagonist from 7, so you better finish 7. I was like, okay.
Right, okay.
And then I quickly wrapped that up before Last of Us 2 came out, which has yet to make me cry.
Okay.
But I'm sure it will.
Right.
Yes. So I've talked a little bit about the unnecessary research I did in this script, and I wanted to find a reason as to why Nat and Tom couldn't find the studios. And I didn't want it to be too convoluted either. So it was like, I'll abbreviate it, and I thought, it can be linked to a local legend. And I nearly used... There's a place near Ripon that you mentioned in season 1. It's like the Devil's. It's like he threw the stones.
Oh, the Devil's Arrows.
That was it. And I nearly used the Devil's Arrows, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to go a bit more local. And in Penshaw, it's very famous for the Lambton worm.
Ah, right. Yes.
And there is a. You say that like you didn't just perform that bit of knowledge in the script.
I recorded this script weeks ago, it feels like.
Yes, that's true. But anyway, and it's this fun legend, and Penshaw Monument's there, and it influenced this horrible horror film called The Lair of the White Worm, starring Hugh Grant and Peter Capaldi.
Ah, wow.
It's worth looking at some clips on YouTube. Okay. Very painful. I think Hugh Grant said he wishes he could expunge it from his
acting
his
CV.
Career. Yes, indeed. But yeah, and it's, I don't know, I've always just been quite interested in the Lambton Worm, because obviously in this area it's mentioned, there's a few pubs named after it and things like that. And I am implying that because Slenderman was in Penshaw, I am implying that Slenderman was the Lambton Worm as this very old... Ooh, you prick.
What?
I thought it was a nifty idea. This ancient, creature, thing that's... I don't know, eating people. I don't even know what Slenderman does. I read a little bit more about Slenderman in preparation for this, and there was a part of the lore I'd never heard of before, which is apparently when he kills you, he takes out your organs, wraps them in plastic, and then puts them back inside you, so that when people find your body, you're hanging from a tree with your organs all wrapped up. And I thought, that's just... And I appreciate that it's like a meme and people have added to it. I thought that one's a bit shit, isn't it?
Just a bit, yeah. Glad you didn't reference that.
Yeah, I kept the death ambiguous enough, so it would be a bit naff if Jake's character hangs up a net and goes, his lungs are all wrapped up in cling film. Wait, where does Slenderman get the stuff to wrap it from? Does he go to a shop?
Well, it could be that he's like a silkworm or something, and he's just got a nodule for cling film.
Yeah, because if you look at the concept art for the awful Sony Slenderman film, the concept art is brilliant because it's like he's not wearing a suit. It's just his flesh is like bark, and it vaguely resembles a suit.
Right, okay.
I quite liked that.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think I posted on Twitter when I first saw it many months ago, where I said, don't mind me, I'm just crying looking at the concept art for Slenderman and wishing for the film that it could have been.
Aww. Well, I think it's game over for the time being, but we shall see you again in just 2 weeks. You can set your calendar, set your alarm for it.
Yes, and it wouldn't be an episode of a podcast without us asking you that if you have enjoyed this episode, please do give us a 5-star review, write up some glowing words, tell your friends, and if you have the means, please do consider donating to our Ko-fi, because if people hadn't been doing that, we wouldn't be here right now.
Indeed so, and we also have all of the lovely merch with all of the amazing art that has been done for us. Would you like to give a shout out to our wonderful artist?
Hi Xena, thanks for doing our amazing art.
But you can find that, all of the links in the show notes, blah 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 blah. So until what can we look forward to in 2 weeks' time?
In 2 weeks' time, David, we will be doing a classic ghost story, one of my favourites, from not Henry James.
From not Henry James, excellent.
Pleasure as always, David, and I'll see you in 2 weeks' time when we definitely record these things.
Absolutely, yes.
Finger curls.
You've been listening to a Shadows at the Door production. Story by Mark Nixon. Performances by David Ault, Ilana Charnel, and Jake Benson. Score by Nico Vertesi. Production by Mark Nixon. Production copyright Shadows at the Door Publishing 2020. Story copyright of the author. If you enjoyed this production, please consider leaving a review wherever you listen to podcasts, and we'll see you very soon.